Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Feel free to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for more content to get notified. Share away, we share here. This video is pure speculation. It's a little involved. It's longer than I wanted it to be, but excuse me. I'm going over a lot of stuff, okay? So bear with me. I hope you enjoy it. And let's talk a little bit about episode 9, speculation, plot rumors, and where TLJ doesn't fit in. Hey guys, this is going to be a very kind of involved talk about several topics. First topic is Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. As we know, in The Force Awakens, that lightsaber took on a special meaning. Jedis find their kyber crystals and build their own lightsabers. Luke inherited Anakin's lightsaber through Obi-Wan, and somehow Maz got a hold of it. It was the one that Luke lost on Bespin in the duel with Vader. And somehow it calls out to Rey and not, quote-unquote, grandson. So what is this lightsaber? What does it mean? Well, it's kind of a symbol in the same way that Excalibur is. It's an inheritance. He who has the lightsaber is the one, not the chosen one, because Anakin was the chosen one. The lightsaber calls out to Rey. Why? Well, and it doesn't go to Kylo Ren. And here we go with stuff. I'm going to probably make a lot of people angry. I really don't care. JJ was trying to tell us who people were in the scene at the end of TFA when Ren and Rey had their duel and the lightsaber ended up in the snow after he fought and beat Finn. That, you see Ren reaching back to call the lightsaber to him. The lightsaber starts to jiggle and suddenly, boom, it's in Rey's hands. Why? Why? It's telling us who the real Skywalker is. Remember, there were twins. Padme had twins, a boy and a girl. So it doesn't say who Rey's parents are, but it says that she is a descendant of Anakin Skywalker. So what did it say about Kylo Ren? Again, it's Excalibur. It's a talisman. It's an inheritance. It's a legacy. That lightsaber being built by Anakin, and after the duel with Obi-Wan saving it to give to Luke, okay? Luke loses it in the duel with Vader on Bespin. Somehow Maz gets a hold of it, which I'm sure we are going to find out that little plot hole. And it ends up in Rey's hands. It calls out to her. It belongs to her now. Why? Because she is a true Skywalker. Where again does it leave Kylo Ren? Now, as we've heard, one of the leaked ideas for the movie, the next movie coming out, episode 9, is Son of Darkness. It refers back to the prequel era, and one character in particular, and that character is Sheev Palpatine. Sheev Palpatine and Kylo Ren have a lot in common. They killed their families and their mentors. They have a lot in common. And Palpatine was literally one of the most insidious gaslighting villains ever written. In fact, I think he's one of the greatest villains ever created. He absolutely has zero conscience as far as empathy towards people. He's there only for himself, only for power. He doesn't, the quote is, I don't want to live as ordinary beings live. He is there for the sake of himself. He is not, there's nothing empathetic or right about him. If you look at the way J.J. Abrams sort of wrote Kylo Ren, you can see the similarities between him and Palpatine. To the point where Kylo Ren lies to Rey, and we'll get into that in a little bit. He is guilty of patricide. He is guilty of the deaths of billions of people, a la Palpatine. He is literally following, in a way, Sheev Palpatine's footsteps. He has butchered a family member. Palpatine killed his family. He has killed his mentor. Kylo Ren killed Snoke. So, what does that say about his identity? Well, let's talk about Rey's Force vision, and then we'll come back to that. So, let's talk about Rey's Force back vision in TFA and why TLJ no longer matters. When Rey opens up the chest in Maz's basement, she touches a lightsaber and suddenly finds herself in Cloud City. You hear Leia's voice. You hear Yoda. You hear Darth Vader's breathing. You hear Palpatine cackle. You hear Obi-Wan. You hear Luke screaming, "No." It is literally the lightsaber telling its story to this girl. Then she is at the Jedi Temple. She sees Luke with his mechanical hand touching R2-D2. There's your clue that R2-D2, again, is the keeper of the secrets. So then she finds herself rolling down a hill, and she's in the rain, and there are dead bodies all over the place. And she's about to be slashed in half by a Knight of Ren. A guy with an unstable lightsaber with a crossbeam comes in and shoves that lightsaber through that Knight of Ren's chest. We see it here. And approaches her. She's afraid. That is Kylo Ren. From there we go to her being left on Jakku and screaming, "No, don't leave me, come back." And you see a ship. Here's the ship leaving her. Okay? And we know how it ends. He's chasing her through the snow on Starkiller Base, and then Maz comes up and it ends. The Force back vision ends. So what happens? So what does it mean? I'm going to say this right now. Forget TLJ right now. Forget you saw it. Forget you ever, had anything to do with it. Because the ship left her there. So and there's a ship. I will leave a link to the Force back vision in description box of this video and in a pinned note so you all can see it. Kylo Ren telling Rey in TLJ that she is a nobody and her parents are drunks and sold her off for booze money and died in a pauper's grave on Jakku is utter fabricated bullshit. Again, he is gaslighting her. He is lying. He knows perfectly well who she was. He knew in TFA who she was. I surmise Han suspected who she was. Leia knows who she is. Luke, at the end, knows who she is. The only person who still doesn't really know is Rey. Okay? So what does it say? Well, all right, let's go back to the lightsaber. Anakin's lightsaber. In the final battle in The Force Awakens, you have Rey and Ren facing each other in the snow. And what happens is Ren calls out to the lightsaber after Finn gets defeated. It flies out of Finn's hand. It's half buried in the snow. Ren reaches out for it, using the Force to grab it. And we don't see Rey raise off camera. She's doing the same thing. And it goes to Rey. What does it say? Whose lightsaber really is that lightsaber? It is Anakin's lightsaber. It is not Luke Skywalker's lightsaber. It is the lightsaber Luke inherited from his father when Obi-Wan gave it to him. The lightsaber then calls out to Rey. Rey has her Force-back vision. Rey sees things in the past that she can't remember. The death of the kids at Luke's academy, the burning of the temple. She sees that. The lightsaber is showing her part of her past, Luke's past. So she was there at the academy. Okay, so why does the lightsaber go to her and not to Kylo Ren? Because only one of them is a real Skywalker. Now, there are two Skywalker twins here. All right? There's Luke and Leia. So, either of them is her parent. And because I think it's just going to be too much of a hassle, it is not Luke. Luke would have known she was his daughter. In The Force Awakens, Leia knows who Rey is. And JJ made up some excuse about why Leia ignored Chewbacca at the end of The Force Awakens to hug Rey. It's because she knows who Rey is. And if you read the novel, The Force Awakens, Leia fusses over her and says, "We lost our son. I know I'm doing the right thing now." This is assuming that JJ's next script treatment, his outline, will be followed. She's sending Rey to go get Luke and Rey to be trained. She knows who Rey is. She knows where she came from. And you have all these other things going on. Adam Driver saying Rey is a princess hidden on Jakku for her own good. That was in Brit GQ. A month before The Force Awakens, or The Last Jedi came out, you have Daisy Ridley saying Rey's parents were in The Force Awakens. It was obvious to her who they were. She was stunned that no one else noticed it. And to be honest, it just makes sense right now that she is Han and Leia's daughter. But then it leaves, because the lightsaber didn't go to Kylo Ren, and he truly believes himself to be the heir apparent to Darth Vader when he's not. So who's Kylo Ren? This is what I think is happening. I think the reason why Matt Smith was pulled in to the latest Star Wars movie is because they're showing the past. They're going to show the similarities, I think, between Kylo Ren and Palpatine. Okay? They're going to show, because here's the deal. Kylo Ren was supposed to be a very, very malevolent villain with a lot of gravitas by the time TLJ came around, and instead we got emo douchebag. And I don't think that's what JJ really thought was going to happen. I've already talked about the fact that he did not want Kathleen Kennedy involved in the creative process for Episode 9. We know that George Lucas is consulting on Episode 9. And, you know, there are going to probably be flashbacks. And to me, you know, you've got Kerry Russell in this movie. Now, she's supposed to be, quote-unquote, a mommy figure. For whom? For whom? All right? Because Leia seems like a pretty interesting mother figure to Rey. All right? So who's Carrie Russell the mother to? All right. I'm going to give you guys the theory that I was told before TLJ came out, and I do believe it's what J.J. Abrams had wanted to do. And it is a beautiful, very tragic story. Leia was afraid she couldn't carry a child full term. She and Han tried desperately to have kids. With no luck, children kept dying. They have a boy son. He's born dead. And Luke shows up with a baby that he found. He gives the baby to Han and Leia. They name him Ben. And history, we know, there it is. Where did he come from? So let's go to a flashback. Where did Ben Solo, the one that we know, come from? Oh, and let me remind you, when Kylo Ren is confronting Han, or confronted by Han, on the catwalk, he says, "Your son is dead, I killed him." Again, another clue. All right, another clue. It's not what Vader said to Luke. That name no longer has meaning to me. Do you remember that in Return of the Jedi? All right. Kylo Ren says, "Your son is dead, I killed him." Again, "Your son is dead, I killed him." Now, Obi-Wan says to Luke, from a certain point of view, Vader did kill Anakin Skywalker. And you could look at it that way. But when Darth Vader is confronted by Luke with his real name, he says to Luke, that name no longer has any meaning to me. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. So, what does Kylo Ren really mean here? And where did he really come from? This is my theory. This is a good theory. Carrie Russell is probably playing his mother. Okay? She either gives him to Luke or has died, and the baby is just there. The baby is strong with the Force. And who is Carrie Russell? Who is she? If she's playing a Mara Jade character, wasn't Mara Jade the Emperor's assassin? Wasn't she called the Hand of the Emperor? All right, see where I'm going with this? All right, how many concubines did the Emperor have? Think about it, okay? So we've got that. The baby goes to Luke. Luke, in an act of kindness to his sister and brother and best friend, gives the baby to them to raise and drops a nuclear bomb in their laps. And I know it nullifies the novels. But considering that the novelists and the story group never consulted JJ at all with any backstory, why would JJ be concerned about what they're doing? At least what they were doing back then. All right? So let's go on. Han and Ben aren't getting along. Leia gets pregnant, and Han doesn't know it. She gives birth to a daughter, and the daughter goes to Luke to be hidden at the Jedi Academy. And when they get there, when the Knights of Ren get there, with Kylo Ren, he finds this girl and knows exactly who she is. She is a Skywalker, and he knows it. He thinks he is a Skywalker. This is why he's obsessed with Darth Vader. He sees her as a blood relative, his sister. And what are siblings? The closest blood relatives you will ever have. However, she's not. Because the lightsaber says otherwise. The lightsaber could have gone to Kylo Ren if he was actually a grandson of Anakin Skywalker. But it doesn't. The lightsaber is telling you exactly who these people are. And we're going to find out. The big reveal is not going to be Rey. Like I said before TLJ came out, She is not the big reveal. Kyle Ron is. Okay? And I want to talk a little bit about this. JJ apparently is reviving the Knights of Ren. He is forgetting a lot of different characters, throwaway characters from TLJ, which tells me again that TLJ is in the garbage dump. Okay? It will not matter at all to the story to episode 9. Now again, like I said, the title of the movie is Son of Darkness. Son of Darkness, of course, refers to the Emperor. Okay? It refers to the prequel era. And Kyle Ron actually is more like Sheev Palpatine in the way he is built, at least in TFA, than he is Darth Vader. Vader does not have it in him to kill somebody he loves. His son, his wife. Kyle Ron butchers his dad like a dog on a catwalk. In TLJ, of course, he pulls away from killing Leia, but again, like I said, it didn't stop him from letting the other, like I said before, it didn't stop him from allowing the other, his other fighters in his squadron to go and blow a hole in her ship. All right, so really, he didn't really do anything to do anything. And by the end of TLJ, he's willing to kill everybody in the Resistance, and that includes Luke, it includes Leia, it includes Rey, which is a reflection not of Vader, but of Palpatine. Okay, this is why we're going to get flashbacks. And yes, I know flashbacks have never been seen in Star Wars. They got to do something, and I have no problem with it. But anyway, this is why we're getting the theories from TLJ coming back, because nothing's been resolved, and they're going to have to be resolved in episode 9, and it's going to be a very, very hard thing for them to do, because there's going to be so much into it. But Son of Darkness, if they go with that, basically reveals a lot of the plot. And it basically reveals who Kyle Ron is and the story behind him. And it also reveals that he is not who he believes himself to be, and he is not what he thinks he is. And there's a reason why Vader doesn't really connect with him, because he's not a Skywalker. He's not a solo Skywalker. He's a son of darkness, like his grandfather, his father. Maybe he was, conceived by the Force like Anakin was. But of course, if he was, then he would be the chosen one. And again, like we remember in the OT and in the prequels, Yoda warning Palpatine, you have too much trust in your new apprentice. He's going to turn his back on you. And what does he do in the OT? He turns his back on him. So, and this is why I think Kerry Russell's in this. It's not for Rey. It's for Kyle Ron. And unless someone else who I know who's listening has any more information and tells me I'm wrong, let me know in comments. Send me a PM on Twitter or here on YouTube, and I'll be willing to listen. So this is Steph, signing out. See you around the galaxy. So I hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane. I want you to think about all of this, because I honestly do think that the reveal isn't Rey, the big one. It's going to be Kyle Ron. And if they do it right, it's actually going to fix what they broke. If they do it right. So Steph, signing out.